Today's guest is a chiropractor who made a slight adjustment to his marketing strategy, and now he's getting 200 email inquiries a day. Get it? Slight adjustment? And he's a chiropractor?
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reed.
Oh, I love a good dad joke at the top of the show. Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show. I'm your host, Timbo Reed. You, so much more importantly, are a motivated business owner and you're ready to crank out some great marketing. That's what we do around here. Like, you're going to walk away from this episode and you are going to be inspired to grow your business through some fantastic marketing ideas. And this is all made possible by the very good folk at Key Person of Influence, the world's leading business accelerator program for business owners like you wanting to become industry thought leaders. Yeah, that's you. And they're going to give you a free copy of their Amazon bestseller, a hard copy, by the way, if you go to keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo. Hey, big show today. I have a chat with a chiropractor by the name of Dr. Ian Rossborough. He's a Melbourne-based chiro who's cranking out some very, very interesting marketing, and boy, did it catch my attention when it was sent through to me. Got a motivational quote from the late but great Zig Ziglar, and big news on a guest next week, a world-famous guest, some would say. As usual, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in.
Join the Small Business Big Marketing community and have your marketing questions answered by other motivated business owners, including Timbo, over at crankmymarketing.com.
And by stuck right in, I mean let's get stuck right in. Today's guest is Dr. Ian Rossborough. He is a chiropractor from a business called, or he owns a business called chiropracticexcellence.com.au. He's based in Melbourne. He practices a very common method of chiropractic called the Gonstead method, so nothing special there. But what caught my attention are these videos of Dr. Ian helping his patients. They are amazing. They're not testimonials, although they certainly act like that. They are simply videos where if a patient comes into his practice and he wants to video the process of him helping that patient, he taps his secretary or his receptionist on the shoulder and says, let's film this with the patient's consent. And he films the entire process of that patient coming in, him diagnosing the patient, adjusting the patient, and then the outcome of that adjustment. They're amazing videos. Head over to chiropracticexcellence.com.au and you will see what I mean. Like, they're almost magical. The difference between the patient at the start and the patient at the end. But they're not salesy in any way whatsoever. At no time does Dr. Ian look at the camera and go, look at me, isn't it fantastic, chiropractic will cure anything. It's not like that. They're almost like mini documentaries capturing his work. In fact, the first one that I saw was uploaded 2 months ago. It's already had over 5 million views. Quite incredible. All the other ones he's got up there have had hundreds of thousands of views or low millions. So pretty incredible. He's getting, as a result, 200 emails a day, 200 email inquiries a day, as he'll share with you shortly. And there's people travelling from all over the world to have him help them. So it's a pretty amazing story. I started off by asking the good doctor, how did these videos come about?
Yeah, look, at the start it was really, really high tech. What would happen is one of the girls at the front would ring me up and say, Ian, your new patient, or, Marie, someone that we've seen before, has just been hit by a car or pulled out a stump out of the ground or, whatever the thing is, and she's thrown up in a waste paper basket or he's doing this or that. Might be a good case for you. And I just go down to the patient as I grabbed them, and I'd said, look, I'd just say, we sometimes video cases to help other chiropractors learn. Do you mind if I video this? You're not agreeing to anything except me videoing it, and once we've edited it, I'll let you have a look. And if you don't like it, we'll throw it in the bin, and if you still give us permission, we might show people. And inevitably, and unfortunately, only about 10% of the people say yes, because a lot of them are very embarrassed, which is fine, and we respect that completely. And to be honest, some of the most amazing cases that we've ever had, they're all in the bin, because when someone sees themselves, we always edited them really tastefully too. We took out the really, all the stuff that was great for tally, we took out because you don't want to embarrass anyone. But yeah, that's how they happen. We just take them real time.
So just so I understand that, you have a camera crew around the corner on call, or someone in the office?
No, we have, initially we had the nearest person with an iPhone, and then once we got a little bit more organised, we got a very nice camera, like a Canon, whatever it was called.
But who's operating this, and who's choosing the shots?
The same girl that edits them.
And she's in the office?
Yeah, Georgia. Like I said, is now my partner. She originally she was an office manager, and it was her idea initially to run these things in the first place. So basically, what we had to do once we started getting good at this, and obviously the practice was growing, not directly because of the YouTube, because we already had this exponential growth. Just prior to that, we decided that it was, it might be time to get 2 girls on the front instead of 1. So if we ever needed one with a camera, we could have them. So Georgia would pretty much do the same 12, 13 hours a day that I did. And if anybody walked in the door that looked really sick, she'd just pick up the camera and follow us.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then she would do the editing. And then look, our original premise was, I didn't want to be known as, the guy that gave 100 years of chiropractic information to the world for free. So we would take, it might be an hour of footage over a period of, say, 3 or 4 visits, and that would be edited down into, 3 to 5 minutes. But we just kept it fairly simple. We took a lot of the technical stuff out, but we just wanted to show the public what chiropractic was capable of, but also other chiropractors what our specialty was capable of.
Why didn't you want to be known for the guy who gives away a whole lot of chiropractic information for free? Well,
the technical side of what we do is very difficult, and it's a life's work. You've got to be very dedicated to becoming good at this, and it is, when it's practiced properly, it's extremely safe. It's probably the safest form of healthcare in the world. But if somebody just kind of had a look and thought, oh, well, I'm a whatever I am, I don't know, like a myotherapist or a physiotherapist or an osteopath or another form of chiropractor, that doesn't look so hard. Next time I have somebody with, vertigo or vomiting or acute disc injury, I'm going to try that move. They would get themselves in trouble very quickly.
Gotcha. Tell me, okay, you've got 5 million views on one video I'm looking at, nearly 1 million on another, hundreds of thousands on all the rest. What's it done for business, number one? And I'm also interested to hear what your colleagues in the industry have said. So, first of all, for business, Ian, is it gone nuts?
Look, what it has done, it's interesting. It's hard to gauge what it's done for business, because prior to the Mun video, I was already...
The Mun video being the one that's got over 5 million views, yeah?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Prior to that one, I was already sort of booked out a couple of months in advance, and I had a waiting list for return patients and also a waiting list for new patients. So, I was kind of beyond capacity before that even came out. But what it definitely has done is got a lot of people interested in what they think is this new thing. Like, and that's what I think. That's where, you know, in terms of where you're coming from, mate, and what you're promoting, which I love, by the way. You know, awareness and how people can use social media and other forms of communicating their message. It's definitely, there's hundreds of thousands. Like Georgia, who makes these videos, I've had to make her international liaison. I've actually created a whole new position because, you know, we're getting 200 emails a day from people telling their story, asking for help, asking who can help them. And the overwhelming message is that, you know, they found this new thing. And it's really nice for me because in one way, it's sad in another, but I always look to the positive. You know, this is chiropractic, something that's 120 years old, and these people are seeing what I do as this new age sort of fancy thing, you know. So that's the biggest effect that it's had on my business, is that people from random corners of the world, like, you know, Ethiopia and Estonia and like Bangladesh and bizarre corners of the world, are sending messages saying, can you explain this, you know, turn of the century type modern technique? And we're like, no, this is 120 years old.
It's interesting that the problem that you've created, in the sense that I notice on your YouTube channel you've got hundreds and hundreds of comments, a lot of comments asking for help. You're telling me you're getting 200 emails a day from around the world. That's extraordinary. That can create some anxiety in a business owner, because all of a sudden you can't attend to them. There are people who, in your case, you're dealing with a very emotional area. So these are people crying out for help. Are you doing something to create? What can you do? You can, I guess, to me, what comes to mind, one of two things. You could go and create an online spinal care course, or you could set up joint ventures or partnerships or a referral network around the world, so that you can, if someone from Ethiopia contacts you, you can bounce them off to someone more local.
Yeah, well, this is exactly the position I'm in at the moment, and I've just sort of enlisted the help of somebody who, you know, her name's Kira. She looks, I think you might have even chatted to her, I'm not sure, but there's, you know, she's looked after Sarah Wilson, who was an I Quit Sugar lady, and she's got some other good, you know, great clients that she's helped a lot. And what I like about Kira is she's, you know, similar to us. She's extremely philosophical in her approach. She's out there to help people, and, you know, it's only early days, but already I can see that she's really going to answer a lot of the questions that we had about what on earth do we do from here.
Well, it'd be interesting. I mean, it's a story in development. I mean, you know, whilst you're down the track with a whole lot of videos up there with a whole lot of views, you have now... problem's not the right word, but you've created another opportunity. You're a glass half full kind of guy. So, you've created this opportunity that you've now got to find a solution to. What of the many haters, Ian?
Yeah, look, there's plenty of those. And look, you know, again, look, I think I alluded to earlier, I'm new to this whole social media thing. You know, I'm a guy who sort of grew up without a dad, playing footy, and my single mum helped me get through school. So I wasn't really into, you know, I'm sort of, like I said, a meat and veggie sort of person from growing up. But what I've learned, you know, through all this is that this social media has its own species attached to it, and there's like professional trolls that sort of sit there and they're actually paid to go through your stuff and create trouble. And, you know, that's kind of the sad end of it all. Like, you know, you've got these people that they do want to hate. And, you know, for example, the Moon video, there's a perfect example right there. You know, there was a kid who had lost the will to live. He told his dad straight to his face a number of times that he wanted to die. He was spending 3 or 4 days in bed on narcotics, not eating. He halved his body weight. You know, you saw him yourself when I met him. You know, there was a very sick young guy with a just bucket load of potential, but he was like, he was done for. He was ready to check out. And he got well. And he got well on video. And I don't know what the number is, but I think it's something like 400 people gave the thumbs down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, here's a forum where people actually don't like people getting well.
Support for this show comes from Key Person of Influence, a business accelerator program that reeks of success. I asked co-founder Glenn Carlson to share some breakthrough results.
Every day, I'm seeing people posting evidence of the transformation from them being an operator to being a key person of influence. So, as a result of them publishing a book, they're getting invited to speak at global conferences that they've only ever dreamed of attending, let alone being a speaker at. Or, an organisation decides to buy 3,000 of their new product, which they've just created, that they would never have been able to take 3,000 orders if they were just a single operator. Or their pitch, getting them into, a deal that is 10 times bigger. And like, we see evidence of this every single day. And I look at this every single day to the point where it's become the water I'm swimming in.
KPI, where the results speak for themselves. For a free hard copy of their Amazon bestseller, visit keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo. In terms of industry compliance, how close to the wind are you sailing in terms of what, the medical association allows?
Yep. Well, I think what's helped, to be honest, I don't completely understand how our code of conduct differs so much to some of the other health practitioners. Like, AHPRA is the main body that sits over all the health professions in Australia, and I'd hate to have their job. They do a great job at sort of sitting over the top of everyone and make sure everyone sort of follows their code of conduct. But having said that, within ours, there's a specific thing that says that, you're not allowed to have testimonial, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, you're not allowed to sort of suggest that you're better than somebody else, one of your other peers. Like, there seems to be a lot of things that apply to us that don't apply to others.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think one of the reasons why we've done okay is, even though we've had a couple of these professional trials actually report us to AHPRA, and, we've made official complaints, once we've been looked at, there's been very, very small things that we needed to sort of amend to fall back in line with our code of conduct. One of the things is testimonial. We've been very, very careful the whole time not to say, hey, this is Ian Rossborough, this is, Chiropractic Excellence. We took our name out of all of it. We always said brought to you by Gonstead Chiropractic. We never said, brought to you by Chiropractic Excellence or brought to you by Ian Rossborough. We were very, very careful, and I still do that. Like, I didn't want to make it about me or my practice. I really just wanted to show the world what chiropractic was capable of. So from that point of view, it was an educational post, and it still is. So I think that's why we sort of fit within the guidelines okay.
Mm. I love it, mate. Well, I tell you what, it's good watching. It's kind of inspiring to see these people walk in so troubled and to walk out feeling a whole lot better. Even at that level, dare I say, it's entertaining, something worth watching. But it's also fantastic marketing, and I encourage, do more videos, mate. You're putting one out every sort of... Well, you haven't quite got a frequency right now, have you? You've put 3 out in the last 4 months. You got a plan to...
What our problem is we're actually a fully functional business, and this YouTube stuff is
secondary.
It's a secondary thing that we do for people. We'd love to put one out a week. We've got billions on hard drive, and they're waiting to be edited. But we're actually looking at another direction now, something that's a bit less labour intensive. So we might be able to give the public around the world just a lot more frequent bits of information, and maybe something that might be... We've got a few ideas. The trouble is it's going to cost a lot to put out sort of the next level of information, so we might have to...
Tell me what it is. I might be able to give you a way of making it not cost a lot.
All right, well, what I've realised over the years is that, you've got people with different levels of interest in health and health information. So, the type of stuff we put out on YouTube, we obviously do for free. That's costs me about $30,000 a year of my own money to put that stuff out because I've got to pay people to do it.
30 grand?
Yeah.
These videos that I'm looking at?
Well, I'll look at Mun, for example.
Yeah.
Mun had 50 hours of footage, and
right.
50 hours of footage had to be edited down to about 10 minutes. So that took someone at $30 an hour a long time to sort of, bring it down to what it was.
You might have to outsource a bit of that overseas, Ian.
Yeah, well, that could be an
mate, don't let your editor hear that.
Yeah.
But
Like
seriously, I'm
Yeah.
a big believer, create the content here, don't be on the tools here in some cases. I mean, employing locals one thing, but if it means, that's just a lot of dough. The opportunity cost of $30,000 where you could be getting it done a hell of a lot cheaper for a similar result. Yeah. But you probably know that.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we enlisted, Kira, that social media person, to help us out. But, the main thing I was trying to get at was, you got Bob down the road and all he wants to know is why when I sit down for so long does my back hurt more, And then you've got somebody at the next level that wants to understand, the esoterical nature of being and, how does my relationship with my highest thoughts affect my vibration, And before you know it, you've got, and I've realised that, in really contemplating this over the last 3 or 4 years, I realised that I do probably have 3 or 4 or 5 different levels of help that I can sort of push out to the public. And so, but the upper levels I probably need to monetize a bit. So just to sort of pull some of that back.
Yeah.
But I'm all about, if it does happen that way, if it ever goes down that path, I'm all about giving people way more than what they pay for. So, I'm hoping to create a nice product that people can actually really learn from and have their life changed by.
Good on you, buddy. Well, you're doing great stuff, and it's wonderful to see marketing that is so helpful and so engaging, as opposed to a lot of marketing that we see, which is pushing sales messages upon us, which yours certainly doesn't. But it gets you engaged enough to want to find more, and that's what great marketing does. So, Ian, I wish you all the best for the future, mate, and thanks for taking us inside these incredible videos and a great story.
Thanks very much. Can I say one last thing? Because you just prompted my mind on that close you just did then. But I think it just occurred to me now. You've sort of helped me, to be honest. I think the reason why this has been so successful is whenever we've tried to help somebody understand what we do to put ourselves in a position where we can help the person, we wanted to leave them with a game so that they got something from us, whether they came to see us or not. And I think if all of your listeners, no matter what business they're in, even if they're like selling staple guns, if they can live in service and sort of trade from behind their philosophy, they'll all do so much better.
Great words, mate. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Hey, after we finished the interview and I'd stopped recording, Dr. Ian shared some absolute gold about his naivety when it came to this modern world of marketing. So guess what? I hit record again.
I don't come from a business background, and I don't come from like a money-making type background. Like, I'm very much old school. That's how I was brought up. So I'm sometimes a bit slow to pick up on what the new trends are and what options are out there.
I get that, and that's honourable. I'm probably a little bit at the other end when I'm like going, well, you're there to make a buck, so you can still. No,
I totally see. Sorry to interrupt you, mate, but I actually spent a long time. I think I was one of those guys that thought it was noble to be broke and working your ass off, but I've actually in the last year or two just sort of kind of snapped out of that and thought, well, that's insane because, why should you care? Like, make $30 million if you can, because at least you can do more good then.
Oh, I totally agree. And like, the harsh side of me then says, how dare you not go as hard as you can? And I don't mean work as hard as you can, I mean work as smart as you can to share as much of this knowledge that you're sitting on. And if that means just being smarter about the way you put your marketing together or smarter about the way you run your business, then that's great, because at the end of the day, it's going to mean that you can get your message out to more people more often, and that's the kind of, it's a catch-22, isn't it?
Well, that's a real recent awakening for me, that I totally agree with you now. Like, a few years ago, I would have just kind of scratched my head. I wouldn't have really known where you were coming from, but like, now that I've lived it and I kind of got my nose a bit bloodied, I just like, yeah, he's totally right. I've got to figure this out.
Thanks, buddy. That's brilliant. Well, what a lovely guy. What a humble guy. That interview went for almost twice as long as you just heard. I've cut it right down to really focus on the marketing. But if you wanted to hear more about the good doctor's philosophy around business, around the way he went from being a nurse to studying chiropractic and to getting to where he is now, then I'm going to upload the entire interview and put it inside the Small Business Big Marketing Forum. So if you're not a member, you can be over at crankmymarketing.com. Well worth it just for that, let me tell you. Now, my top 3 learnings from that fireside chat, thanks to the very good folk at Key Person of Influence. Remember, grab that hard copy over at keypersonofinfluence.com.au/Timbo of their Amazon bestseller. Learning number 1, is there an opportunity in your business to capture on video in real time the success or joy a client is having from using your product or service? It's worth asking. Quite a long question, that really, isn't it? But you know what I mean. Think about capturing the experience of someone benefiting from what it is you do. Learning number 2, don't wait until you've got all your fancy equipment before you embark on a content marketing strategy. As you heard the good doctor say, he started filming these videos on his iPhone. Now he's got a fancier Canon DSLR, but don't wait till all the fancy equipment arrives. Learning number 3, continue to be yourself as you embark on a content creation strategy, as you embark on a helpful marketing strategy. Don't adopt the marketing voice where you speak every word like this. Just be yourself. Dr. Ian is in his videos and it works. I'd love to know what your learnings are, so feel free to share them over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. Look for the show notes for episode 261 and be sure to visit, if you've got a sore back, be sure to visit Dr. Ian. Tell him you heard him here. chiropracticexcellence.com.au is his website. Zig Ziglar once said, "People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does taking a bath. That's why we recommend it daily." Righto, that almost brings us to the end of episode 261. Hey, there is plenty of marketing gold coming your way. Next week, I have a chat with Rand Fishkin, who is possibly the world's leading expert on search engine optimization. He started a business called Moz all those years ago, and he is right up there, let me tell you, and he is going to spill the beans on what us small business owners could be doing and should be doing to rank on page 1 of Google. Hey, be sure to grab your free hard copy of the Key Person of Influence Amazon bestseller. That is a free hard copy. Got to love that. Go to keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo. And if you need a speaker for an upcoming event, guess who's available? Yep, me. Head over to timreed.com.au. If you want to surround yourself with other motivated business owners, then do join the Small Business Big Marketing Forum. Even if you do for a month, and just check it out. Hang out. Be inspired. Head over to crankmymarketing.com. You'll be in there in, I don't know, a minute, maybe 2. Until next week, I'm Timbo Reid. Always have been, always will be. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.